What's going on, Michigan fans? Clayton Sayfie here with EJ Holland. We are from the Wolverine.com. We are talking about 5 things that we learned about Michigan recruiting in the month of November. It's been a crazy month, both on the field and off the field for Michigan. That includes the recruiting trail. So we'll break those down. Make sure to check our content out over at thewolverine.com. New members right now can get a free $75 gift card when they sign up. They also get 25% off. So you pay $75, you get $75 in Nike gift card, Nike gear right back to you. So check us out at thewolverine.com. But let's start. Without further ado, the first thing we learned in the month of November, a good thing for Michigan and things that, something Michigan fans will like to hear. Michigan is still a strong contender for Will Johnson, 5-star defensive back out of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. And then Damani Jackson, 5-star out of California, defensive back, the number 2 player in the country, and Will Johnson being the number 13 player in the country. So obviously some positive news there that we learned in the last month. They were both on campus together for the Wisconsin game and certainly enjoyed their time.
Yeah, I mean, both guys are obviously very highly touted, both five-star prospects. I think Michigan's a legit contender for both. With Damani, his dad grew up a Michigan fan. With Will, his dad Dion played at Michigan, so there are ties there. Damani's family lives in the Midwest. Will's obviously right down the street. Both of them have talked about playing together. They linked up, during the big visit weekend and really formed a strong friendship. So I think the package deal talk is real. At the same time, Michigan, again, has to answer some of these unanswered questions. They have to produce results on the field. I mean, if you're going to land a five-star out of Southern California, you're going to have to produce some results on the field. And right now they're, not doing that. And with Will, I've always said Michigan has to give Will a reason to come to Michigan. And even though I put in my future cast, it was with the expectation that Michigan was going to end up beating Penn State and Maryland and finishing the year 500. Obviously, they lost to Penn State, and these question marks have, produced, have multiplied, and these, chants from the crowd have grown louder. So, even though Michigan's very, very high up there for both prospects and both are legitimate guys that Michigan can land, they have to win on the field in order to pull their commitments.
Yep, definitely. The next thing that we learned, this kind of ties in with it because it has to do with that visit weekend that we just talked about with both those guys being on campus. But the parents of commits and the parents of targets, even, and a couple of them came to our office. We've shown those videos on this YouTube channel. They're invested in, at least checking out Michigan if you're considering Michigan, and then the ones that are committed, they're invested in kind of creating that family culture, that family atmosphere between the commits, knowing that the kids can't be in the building with the coaches and things like that, but they can be together and kind of start those bonds early. So I guess the next thing we learned is that these parents are all in right now, especially JJ McCarthy's dad, who kind of organized that entire weekend.
Yeah, JJ's father, Jim, has been kind of the ringleader for the parents as JJ has been for the recruit. So he was instrumental in setting up that big visit weekend and having parents fly across the country and meet in Ann Arbor and really get to know each other. Tommy Doman's dad, Tom Doman, helped Tommy lead the tour on campus. Junior Colson's mom, Melanie, was big in, supporting Harbaugh with the parents. Christian Dixon's mother, Christian, was a big, recruiter on campus during that weekend as well, especially with the parents of Damani Jackson and Sierra Wright, who we'll get to in a little bit. So these parents are really locked into what Michigan has sold, despite all these question marks going on, and they're kind of a little bit of the glue that's holding everything together in these dark times.
Yeah, definitely. The next one is one that we joked about last month that we talked about, and we said that, hey, in a month we might have the same exact thing that we learned, and sure enough, we're in that exact spot. So Michigan still in it for George Rooks, Rivals 250 defensive end, but we continue to learn that he has not decided yet where he's going to go. Penn State also a contender in the Northeast, but Here we are again. I guess we could kind of, if we want to, I guess put in our clip from the last time and just, not waste our time talking about it. But George Rooks still undecided here.
Yeah, it's December 1st, still no decision from George Rooks. So he, like Drew Kendall, remain uncommitted, have yet to decide, continue to push things back. Things are still the same with him. I think Penn State and Michigan are the top two schools. Neither team has really given him a reason to commit based on their on the field results, but they're still up there. I think Boston, the biggest development is Boston College is becoming more and more of a dark horse. And so it wouldn't be surprising to see him just spurn both Michigan and Penn State and end up at BC. Pitt is kind of the outlier there. And then Syracuse, which hasn't been talked about in months, can never be ruled out because he is a legacy recruit there, that his father was a big time player at Syracuse. So I think that, again, they can't be completely dismissed in what has been a wild recruitment. With Rooks, like we've said, he's going to commit when he commits, and it's going to have to be soon if he plans to get to campus in January. He obviously has to make a decision in December. But I'm even told that status is up in the air. He might actually not enroll early and just be a regular signee. So we could still be talking about George Rooks for shows to come.
Yeah, and we will see if our December show has him in it in terms of not being committed still, or if we say, hey, he finally made a decision, whether that's to Michigan or Penn State or Syracuse or one of those schools. But yeah, we'll continue to monitor the George Rooks front, and we'll see what happens. The next thing, and you just kind of alluded to this a couple minutes ago, but Sear Wright, 4-star corner in 2021 out of California. He came into our offices, or go back on the YouTube page and check those videos out that we had with him. Super charismatic kid, but also a very talented kid at the corner spot that Mike Zordich really wants to land here. Michigan's a strong contender here. That's something that we learned, and really a rising contender in this recruitment, considering he was on campus in the big visit weekend and was looking to get back on campus, but maybe isn't going to find the time for it.
Yeah, I was really down on Michigan's chances with Xavier Worthy. I mean with Sierra Wright, not Xavier Worthy. Sorry, just got a text about Xavier Worthy, but I was really down on Michigan's chances with Sierra Wright, and I think Michigan's really put themselves in a good position to land him. He really enjoyed his visit. He's childhood friends with Christian Dixon. Like I said, Christian Dixon's mother really worked on Sierra's parents during their time in Ann Arbor. With that said, it does not look like he's going to be able to make the trip back to Ann Arbor, which I think hurts Michigan a bit. I also think Michigan's uh, terrible season and continued losses hurts Michigan. He's going back to Notre Dame this weekend, and Notre Dame has long been considered a top school in his recruitment. USC continues to be favorable in that recruitment. So, while Michigan has put themselves in striking distance, this season has not helped at all with Sierra, but I do think they are one of the top three schools in his recruitment now. Whereas, last time we talked about him, they were kind of very much on the outside looking in.
Right. So we'll see what plays out there. And then the last thing, um, other schools have not stopped recruiting Michigan commits, and it's that time of year where you're looking to get some flips and looking to get some surprise Christmas gifts, I guess, before this early signing day. How it's played out really the last couple of years with the signing day, and primarily being now in December. Of course, a lot of Michigan commits are going to be in contact with other coaches because they have those prior relationships. But when you have the struggles on the field, you have some questions about, contract situations, then those are going to be even more prominent, and those conversations are going to happen a little more often. And other coaches are going to feel a little more empowered to reach out. So that's definitely something we've learned, that some Michigan commits, including Xavier Worthy, you may have had a little Freudian slip there before. And, he's being recruited by Alabama. He was down there for the Iron Bowl, and he's just one example.
Yeah, so Bama's the big contender with Xavier Worthy. I don't think any other schools are really in the mix there, but I do think Bama with him looking elsewhere. like I said, other schools are still in contact with Louis Hansen, who we mentioned in our recruiting show, or will mention, depending on which of these videos runs first. But Boston College, the local school, is continuing to make him a top priority. Duke has reached out. Notre Dame recently put out a feeler, even though they haven't offered yet. Penn State has reached out to Hansen. He's been there before. So those are all schools to kind of monitor with him, even though he's been one of the more solid commits in the class. Michigan State is continuing to push for Andra Anthony. Um, Along the offensive line, I think everybody's, pretty much solid. Same thing with the guys along the defensive line. But you look at the linebackers, Tennessee has continued to make a push for Junior Colson. Not really concerned right now. I don't think his parents are really enamored with Tennessee, but that's a school that continues to try to plug away and try to, convince him to at least give them another look. Jaden Hood is a prospect I've been concerned about for a long time. Miami's involved, Minnesota, and some other, lower level schools are starting to creep in as well. So that's one to watch. We still have the Bob Shoop situation that hasn't been really explained. And so I have concern with Rod Moore. He picked up some offers this month from Washington State and West Virginia. So that's something to watch as well. And then Jaden McBurrows down in Florida, a lot of the big time programs in the South aren't after him, but Miami has put out some feelers. So that's something to look for as well.
Yeah, so we're coming down to crunch time here in the recruiting world, heading into signing day, and we'll have more video coverage. But always check out our coverage as well, and EJ's great insider recruiting scoops at thewolverine.com. Like we mentioned at the top, new members get a free $75 Nike gift card. So take advantage of that. If you like the videos, if you want to get more coverage, then check us out at thewolverine.com. But we'll see everybody next time.